Let's find some day trades, swing trades, and option trades. Hello, traders. It is Wednesday, August 19th. We are not even a half an hour into trading. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I want to actually go through and find opportunities right on the open. You can see how the market is dipping a little bit. We're filling in the gap here. We've got a bullish 1OP cross right in here. So I think that the market should have pretty decent support in here. On a daily chart, you can see that the candles have been extremely compressed. Doji, doji, doji. Market's closing very close to the opening price. We are at a new all-time high. This resistance is pretty stiff. We can expect that when the market establishes its range in the first 90 minutes that we're going to visit both ends of that extreme during the day, and we need to look for reversals on those two extremes. Personally, I'm not as interested in shorting when the market is near the high of the range because the market is in an uptrend. Shorting stocks has been a difficult way to make money, so I'm not going to be too interested in that right now. But on those dips, that is where I would be looking to buy stocks. So I'm just going to go through and find what I think are going to be some of the better prospects. ZS is pretty nice. I'm going to go into heavy buying. That's absolutely the one that I want to focus on. You can see Target. Long green candles closing on their high. This stock is continuing to move higher. It's so far out of the gate, I cannot in good conscience chase that one right here. I'd need to see some type of pullback in it, but they knocked the cover off the ball. OSTK has been super, super solid. I'm going to cancel that. And you can see how the stock has been grinding higher with these long green candles. So that is actually in nice shape. Going to go back into the 5-minute chart on the market. That's really what I want to keep an eye on. Long tails above body, not particularly great there. Just going to go through this heavy buying list. Goldman Sachs getting a nice little bid here. You can see it's trying to get above the 200-day moving average. If it can hold the 200-day moving average, maybe a nice entry point. You can see how it's been up when the market is coming in. That's why tick by tick, I like to have the market running in the background. And that 1OP indicator looks like it's getting ready to cross. I'm not reading too much into it because it's still in negative territory. We're going to see some choppy trading. Red candle, green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle. So choppy back and forth action. This is nice right here. You can see when you start stacking consecutive long green candles, you're through the prior day's high. I would also like to see us through a resistance level on a daily chart. When I get all of those elements, that is a fantastic mix. Look at the airlines, UAL, Save, JetBlue, American Airlines. Airlines are hot today. Take a look at PDD. So any of these stocks that I'm currently going through, JD looks really good. I love this right here. So note the price, 72.22. This stock is going to trade higher than 72.22. This would be a good entry point for a day trade. Why? Because you've got the market pulling back here and you have the stock moving higher. It's through prior resistance. On a daily chart, you can also see how it's making a new relative high. That's the kind of momentum we want to see. It's on heavy buying lists, so we know that the volume is good right now. OSTK, all I'm going to do is keep pounding, pounding, pounding through this list. I'm looking for those types of breakouts. You can see Nike, 108.95. Note that price. This is a good entry point for Nike. And take a look at the daily chart. Yes, breaking through horizontal resistance. I would be long Nike. I better write these down right now. So definitely Nike is a good one. And I think I was just on, I can't even remember the stock. I was just on JD. That was a good one. Right out of the gate, I'd be long here. PDD, not interested in that daily chart. ABBV, we've been on from this breakout here, that downward sloping trend line. It's been grinding higher. It's kind of a choppy one. Going to continue to go down. Plug, nice breakout. Long green candles stacked on a daily chart. Take a look at that 5-minute chart. Yes, I would want to try and buy this maybe at the 1368 level, which is a dime cheaper than where it is currently. I think Plug works really well. I like that price action. Look at the relative strength. You see that? You've got a couple of nested candles in here, the red candles, but they've been able to preserve half of that long green candle. So that's okay. So you got a long green candle, comes down to the halfway point, next candle bullish, new relative high. We preserve half of this long green candle. Bullish hammer. Nice. Next candle, long green candle. Continuing to grind higher in here. We got to try and buy a dip on it. I believe that the market is finding a little bit of support in here because we filled the gap and looks like it's in a pretty decent shape here after filling that gap. We've got another long green candle. So choppy price action, but we could see a little bit of upside here. Halfway point of this long red candle, we were able to retrace it. So let's see if we can continue to build and break out. Again, the market is at an all-time high yesterday, so there should be some buying interest right now. We should see some people coming in. Plug, you can see how it's grinding higher. It's going to move higher. Again, we are 30 minutes into trading. I'm showing you the routines that I go through, the type of setups that I'm looking for, and I'm doing it real time so that you can emulate this when you're using Option Stalker. My favorite search right out of the gate is heavy buying. So that is the best search. J&J, I like that. Look at that volume. Oh yeah. Long green candle closing on its high, closing on its high. We retrace a little bit in here. Let's take a look at that daily chart. Yeah, I like it. It's got a little bit of resistance that it's got to get through, but in general, I like that pattern. Right there, you can see how it's trying to get through that resistance level. I think J&J sets up well here. I like it. I'm going to put it down. That's one that I would want to watch. Why do I like this above other stocks? It is clearly through the prior day's high, and on a daily chart, it's getting through that horizontal resistance. I have those two factors working in my favor. The stock is strong relative to the market today, and it's got heavy volume. Checkbox, 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 checkbox. The more checkboxes you have, the higher your probability of success. That's the mental process that you have to go through for each one of these trades. Then it's a matter of watching the market and seeing what it's doing. Right now, J&J pulling back the last 3 bars. What's the market doing? Flat to higher. So I want to see better price action out of J&J. That's why I would not buy it just yet. ZS? No. Pulling back when the market's going higher. Not a good candidate. I'm just going to click, click, click. That's what you do. You look for these stocks. Airlines tend to be very choppy, by the way. 1 minute they can be taking off. They look fantastic. You get on board, and then they dive. You're like, what happened? That looked so dang good. We'll take a look at the daily chart and see if we can pick anything up there. Not really. You can see how at very least it would have to get through this downward sloping horizontal trend line. It has not been able to do that. Yes, it's finding support above that 100-day moving average. That's nice. Does that mean that there's going to be any sustained momentum today? No. We want stocks that have a clear path ahead. Let's go through and take a look again. Target could completely keep running here today. Long tails above body suggests that there's some resistance. Bulls want the halfway point of this long green candle to hold. Market's doing a whole lot of nothing. Still trying to find its way. OSTK. The good news is that I don't think the market will stand in your way. If you're buying a stock that's got fantastic relative strength right out of the gate this morning, you don't have to worry about the market pulling the rug out from underneath that trade. I think the market's going to be relatively stable. It's going to chop around. Your mode today should be to try and find a couple of early winners that you can make some money on, set some passive targets, move on to the next trade. You might have a couple of hours of decent trading, and then that's it. If you get some type of big move and an extreme is set for that range, you might have a reversal that you can trade later in the day. Take a look at Goldman Sachs again. Starting to slow down a little bit. RCL. Boy, those are some long green candles, and you're through horizontal resistance right here. So RCL, boom, boom, boom. And you've got the market relatively flat to slightly lower while it's been doing this. Yeah, I'm going to be watching this one right now. What would I do with that? I would be trying to get into that trade somewhere around that 63.58 level. And you can see how it's continuing to push higher. Really nice volume. So we're getting some of the laggards are moving higher. I like RCL in here. I'm going to put that on the list as well. These are just stocks that I would have traded in the first, say, 20 to 40 minutes, and then we're going to conclude. That's going to be like a 20-minute segment of stocks that I would have been buying. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you could say you bought these stocks in the first 20 minutes. Were they trading higher throughout the course of the morning after that 20-minute window from say 8:50 to 9:10 Central Time? Pushing higher. Going to continue to look at these stocks here. FSLR. Click, click, click. We already know that we like Nike. So just to recap, I like Nike, I like JD, I like Plug, I like J&J, I like RCL. We're going to review all of these before I conclude this video. And I'm still looking, because every time I look at a chart, I can tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. JD's starting to lose a little bit of steam here. You can see how it's still able to hold the prior day's high. I like that. The market's not giving me a lot to work with right now. I'm not going to be adding any new trades unless I see something absolutely spectacular. That's a nice breakout to a new high. SPWR looks pretty good in here. Now we're going to go to relative strength 30. Market in the first 30 minutes has been lower. These stocks have been higher. OSTK still on the list. RCL we've already looked at. Lulu hitting the list. Up 81 cents. Getting a little parabolic on me in here. You can see that kind of curve right in there. I'm not too crazy about that one. It is a mover also. It tends to chop around. Nothing there. Target we've looked at. CYNA. Grinder. Back above the halfway point of that long green candle might be interesting. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Nothing there for us. Excuse me, that was a 5-minute chart. NVAX too choppy, nothing going. Goldman Sachs pulling back. May give us an opportunity to enter. It is a bank, a financial institution, trading firm. Those tend to be relatively choppy, not a lot of sustained movement. LOW. No, earnings before the open, a lot of choppiness, still trying to figure out what it wants to do. No good there. We got CHGC, which cannot get through the prior day's high. No interest to me. SE, nice gain. Big gap up yesterday. Gave back some of the gains, but it looks like it was trying to push and reach for that all-time high yesterday. And now it's backed off and it's trying to get something going while the market is also getting something going. Apple, haven't seen that one yet today. Not too bad. Apple actually looks very good here. I'm going to add that to the list. I think Apple's going to go. Go to the daily chart. I know it's been pushing higher, making a new all-time high, trying to get through this resistance right in here. Apple's not going to make a huge move without the market, though. So I would be watching it, trying to maybe get a pullback in here. Looks okay. Just going to take a look at my bull run search. Whoa, NCLH. Look at those long green candles closing on their high. This is another cruise line. Bounced off that 100-day moving average. A lot of these cyclicals like this and a lot of the industries that have been really hurt by the coronavirus, you're going to see some short covering bounces in them. I would not be swing trading these overnight because you can see that every bounce that they've had before, oh, here we go, above the 100-day moving average. Let's get in. This is a good entry point. Not so fast. Here we go. This is it. This is the one I've been waiting for. These things are going to take off. Not so fast. So I would not be swing trading those. Think that they've got a lot of downside risk exposure, and I don't think that the cruise lines are going to be coming back anytime soon. Cisco trying to find support right here. On a drop like that, you need to form a base over the maybe course of a week or 2 weeks to at least tell me that yes, there are buyers lining up here. Then you can try and play a little bit of a bounce off of a low like that. CAR, not bad. Trying to get through this horizontal resistance here. Got horizontal resistance there on that long tail. Got horizontal resistance there. Not too crazy about that. I want stocks that are just blowing through. I do like this. See how these have been consistent, nice long green candles closing on their high. Caesar looks pretty dang good to me too. CZR. Market is not doing anything. So when you got a market environment like this, you cannot be ripping offers. You've got to wait patiently. You have to be bidding for the stock. Maybe you put a bid in somewhere here around 43.50 and hope that you get one of those long tails under body where it does a bid check, you get filled, and then it bounces right back. You get a bullish hammer, then you get another extension higher. You put your limit out there, you get taken out, you sell into strength. That's all you can really do right now. And you can't look back and go, oh my gosh, I wish that I would have held on to that because it's up another dollar. Now, you got to be happy with what you can make. If you're hitting your price targets on the upside, that's a good thing. Now you can see how the 10P indicator is starting to improve. It's starting to go higher. That's bullish as far as I'm concerned. I think that the market's going to continue to go higher and challenge that high. So we're going to keep clicking through lists, and I'm going to keep showing you stocks that I think are setting up well. OSTK taking a little bit of a breather there. Got a bearish engulfing candle here, so it could come down and check that 123.20 level. That still may be a good entry point for it. Click, click, click. Just going to keep flipping charts, taking a look, see what we got out there. CVS, STX, STX. Let's go into that daily chart. Nothing doing. The daily chart's really important because if I like a stock on a swing trading basis, on a daily basis, then I know that no matter what happens during the course of the day, I've got staying power. I can ride out some market chop. I can ride out a little adverse move in the stock and know that I can still put a limit order out there to try and scratch the trade with a good likelihood that I'm going to be able to fill that scratch. If I've got a breakout on a daily chart, there are going to be some buyers in there. That's why the stock broke out. And I'm also looking for some type of strength on a longer term basis. CZR was a good example. You could see how it was grinding higher. Apple. I think we've got enough stocks to kind of take a look at right now. See if we can find some more. Oh, that's beautiful. Crow, there's a bullish explosion alert. CRSP. Yeah, love it. This is going to be a good one. Yep, that's going to be a good one. CRSP, that's a bullish explosion alert, but this is not one that we have to jump on. I want to spend some time on this. I want to tell you how to trade these bullish explosions. For me, this is simply a stock that's got very, very heavy volume that looks like it is poised to move higher. Long tails above body tell me that there's some selling pressure in it, but I would look for this stock to continue to grind higher. We've got a nice breakout on a daily basis. So when I see these bullish explosion alerts, I'm looking for horizontal resistance, long-term horizontal resistance on a daily chart, more than 20 days. If I'm making a new 20-day high and I get a gigantic 5-minute bar, long green candle on massive volume like that, and it's able to hold the high, which this did not. It did not. If it held that high and there were not a giant tail above the body, which this is okay, I want to see it finish at least in the upper quartile of a long green candle like that. But if it holds that gain right in there, and then I get another candle that starts tick, 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 ticking higher, and I've got that D1 breakout on a daily chart, I know I've got the real deal, and I know that there's something happening in this company, that this is big news that has hit the market. So in those instances, you can't wait around. You got to just buy the stock. But again, in those instances, I would be going off of one gigantic long green candle. That's news, folks. The news has just hit the wires and the stock is responding to it. People haven't even had a chance to read the news. So we're getting in. You can buy this. Let's say you get in somewhere at the $100 level. Maybe you put a $103 limit on it. As that news starts to unfold, they will come buying the heck out of that stock. This is not that type of setup, and I've shown you why. These long tails are an indication, but the stock still wants to go higher, so I like it. I love this volume. I know every stock, every 5-minute increment, what the average 20-day volume is for that 5-minute increment for every single stock. And when we get these explosions on this volume and we get that accompanied by big price movement, you get those bullish explosion alerts. All you need is one of these and it'll pay for a year of option stalker. They're incredible, especially in a slow market like this. That could be all you need. One of those trades will make your day. So this is not that setup, but I do like the stock and I do believe that it continues to go higher. Why? I've got this long green candle right in here. Half of that long green candle has been preserved. You can see how there was a bid check right in there. Tried to take some profits. Even in here, you can see how the volume was building, building, building right in there. And this is from yesterday. So it closes on its high of the day this morning, right out of the gate. Whoosh. Get this big buying volume right in there. So they try and take a little profit, see if the buyers are still there. Of course they are. Bullish hammer, and now we're off to the races. So CRSP. If you're watching this video on YouTube, we are 45 minutes into trading. The price of the stock is currently 102.52. It is going higher. I would be buying this stock. And then I'd be setting passive targets. We're in a quiet market right now. I'm not looking to make $5, $10 on this. I want to be in and out. I want to make a couple of bucks on it, and I want to move on. Who knows? Maybe I'll get another bullish explosion alert today. So we're almost through with the video. I'm just going to continue to go through, take a look at stocks. Mylan, that looks pretty cool. A lot of long green candles, not getting through this resistance level, so I'm not going to chase a stock like that. It's got to prove that it's through that resistance level. MRK, this is pretty nice. We've got this breakout through horizontal resistance. We can see that it is above the 200-day moving average. Go into the 5-minute chart. Drug stocks tend to be very choppy. That's the other thing that you need to do when you're looking at a chart. Try to see if you can determine where the price is going to go. Oh, this is nice. Buy, buy, buy. Oh, yeah, let's get in. No. Oh, this is good. Here we go. Buy, buy, buy. No. Choppy. It's all over the dang place. So you can't buy breakouts on stocks like this. You look at the 5-minute chart and you go, oh, this is a choppy one. I'm not buying into that. But, when the stock pulls back and it compresses, I know that it wants to go higher. There have been some buyers here. I can see the volume there. So in here, yeah, I'll take a chance on it here. Oh, there it goes. All right, I'm taking profits on it. So you get these pullbacks like this, then you can buy those breakouts. So how would I time something like this if I wanted to buy Merck, let's say? I'm going to click on alert. If I click on alert, that's good for the day. And I can click on this bar or I can click on this bar. Click on the bottom of it. Okay, if Merck pulls back and it takes out that low, I'm going to know about it. Maybe I also want to set another alert on that bar. So if it takes this out, I know I've got a dip and I might be watching for an opportunity to scoop a stock that's got some decent relative strength to it. So that's how you do it. You set your alerts. I'm going to continue to take a look. BBY, I like that. That looks really nice. You've got a bullish engulfing pattern forming. I'm going to write that on the list. And now let's go through, and I've got enough stocks. I've shown you a bunch of stocks that I really like already. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to, there's actually a pretty neat feature that you can use. So let's use it. So I've got BBY marked here. I'm going to click plus, okay? And now I'm going to take a look for some of the other stocks that we've got on the list. Let's go into heavy buying. I know I had a few stocks there. I had JD, so I'm going to click JD, and I'm going to click that plus sign, and I'm going to look for plug. There it is. And I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'll show you why I'm doing this. And I've got J&J was a stock that we were looking at. We felt that that might be good on a pullback. I'm not seeing it in here any longer, but we can always take a look at that later. RCL was one that I looked at. Click that, and I'm going to click the plus sign, and then we'll be able to go back and take a look at some of these stocks. Apple was another one that I thought was setting up pretty well, and Not seeing it in this particular list. CZR. Well, in any event, once I do that, I'm able to go in and take a look at, there's Apple, that list. And I'm going to go into lists, and I'm going to click this drop down, and I'm going to go into tag. These are all the stocks that I just tagged with that plus sign, and these stocks will zero out every day, but that allows me to find the stocks that I'm interested in and to go in and to see how they're performing. This is my watch list for the day, if you will. So BBY, I think performs well. JD, you can see how that stock is continuing to push higher. I think it's going to continue to grind higher. Plug was one that we were in back in here. It's starting to pull back a little bit. It's a choppy stock. We want to have half of this long green candle preserved, and then we want to see it continue to grind higher. RCL, we like that early in here, but you can see how volatile it is. It's starting to come in. So let's just go through the entire list and see what all these stocks are doing. Nike. Nike is pretty choppy. You can see that from the 5-minute chart. Goes down, goes up, goes down. So not a lot of strong directional movement. Yes, it finished higher on the day, but you need to be able to buy dips on a stock like this. So Nike looks still pretty good. Market looks okay. It's grinding, grinding, grinding higher. But look at how tight this daily range has been on the market right now. There's not a lot going on. So you're not going to get a lot of follow through in these stocks. And I'm going to go in. The next one was JD. I'm just going to go down the list. JD, okay, yes, pushing to the high of the day. Plug we just looked at. Let's see what that's doing. Starting to regain its bid. Bullish hammer. This stock looks great on a daily basis. J&J was one that we like, but it is a choppy one. Look at this move here. You've got to try and buy bids. So you would want to put your first bid out here, or another method is click alert, click the bottom of that candle. When the stock pulls back to that uh, price right there, you're going to get a pop-up alert, and that would be a signal that you might want to start scaling into the position, because that daily chart looks good on J&J. RCL pulling back a little bit in here. We want to let it come in. Again, for day trading, okay. For an overnight, forget about it. Don't buy airlines overnight. Don't buy hotels overnight. Don't buy restaurants overnight. Those are all stocks that are going to be hurting because of the coronavirus. So Apple will take another look at that. A little bit choppy. He's not getting a lot of follow through from the market. You can always drop an alert line right in here. You can drop an alert line anywhere that you would like. You can also do diagonal alert lines. Right now, we don't have enough data to start drawing these alert lines, but as the day starts to unfold and those trend lines start to become more apparent, then you can use those trend lines to help you manage the trade. So if I were in a trade like Apple, let's say that I were able to buy a dip like this, then I'd be able to start drawing some diagonal alert lines. Very, very steep right now, but there would be a diagonal alert line that you could use that would kind of come into play like that. But you can see how steep it is. As the stock continues to go higher, the alert line follows it up. When the alert line is breached on the downside, it may be a sign to get out. 1OP indicator continuing to rise, market continuing to rise. So that's all still intact, telling us that we can get long here. CZR was another stock on the list that we had. Yes, that's nice. That's continuing to push higher. I like CZR. So let's use that whole upward sloping trend line as a way to manage the trade. I would click there. I would click there. Now I've got my upward sloping trend line. Pretty aggressive trend line. I think that you want to have them less than 45 degrees if possible. Now, if you get a huge stock that's running and you want to lock in profits, then you can have a higher sloping trend line to lock in some of those profits. You get the alert, it's time to exit the trade. CRSP. Let's take a look at that one. Look at that baby. That's a nice one. That is going to be a great trade off of a bullish explosion. That's the process that I go through. Market first, market first, market first. You have to put the market into context. I see dojis. That means that the ranges are going to be tight. I know from my analysis that a month ago the range for the S&P 500 was about 67 points on a 5-day basis. Now it's about 20 points on a 5-day basis. So the intraday ranges have compressed. I know that there's not a lot of market momentum right now. Any stock that I'm in, it's going to have to do it all on its own. And so it dang well better have a nice breakout through horizontal resistance. It dang well better have a lot of heavy volume, and it better dang well have relative strength. If all those check boxes are marked and the 1OP indicator is telling me that the market should continue to go higher, I've got everything I need to be long, set passive targets, exit those trades. If conditions start to change and I get a big spike in the 1OP indicator right up into this level right here, what does that mean? That means that any long positions that I currently have on, I should start reducing my risk. I should start selling those positions. Well, what if they're losers? Yes, start getting out of the positions. And what if they're winners? Yes, start getting out of the positions. If the stock still has a full head of steam and fantastic relative strength, those might be ones that you want to milk a little bit more. But otherwise, yes, when that indicator starts getting extended up in here and it gets ready to roll over, that is your warning sign. It's saying get the heck out. Let's take a look at what that 1OP indicator did yesterday, right here on the opening. We got this breakout to a new high of the day. Fantastic. Let's buy, buy, buy. The market's going to the moon. This is it. This is the breakout we've been waiting for. 1OP indicator saying not so fast. That was a horrible entry point. A lot of bullish speculators lured in on that breakout. Boom, boom, boom. Ah! Yes, they're taking a lot of heat and a lot of pain and losing a lot of money by being impatient and by buying that breakout. This indicator said, don't buy up here. Now we get this big washout. Down in here, if you shorted the market, you would be taking profits on a massive decline like that. Here's your bullish cross right in here. Haha, this is a much better entry point. So that's how it works when the indicator is near zero. It's telling you, don't do anything. J&J just breached below our trend line. That's how an alert would come up. And there's your dip on the stock. Now you can start to watch it. If that opening price right there from that long green bar holds and you start seeing some relative strength in J&J, you might want to nibble on it and buy a few shares of it. As you continue to see some strength in it, maybe buy a little bit more, but set your targets up near the high of the day. It's a choppy stock. That's just how it trades. I hope that doing this video early, I know it's pretty lengthy, but I hope that this process helps you see how we trade and how we find opportunities. If the market were go gangbuster and we had some really good breakout to a new relative high and we had that 1OP indicator working in our favor, then we would be a lot more aggressive than we are right now. I'm assuming we're going to establish a high probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes. That high is probably going to hold, and then we'll chop around for the rest of the day. This is not particularly strong price action, and the volume on the S&P 500 has also been very, very light. Put up the SPY, go into the daily chart, and you can see what I mean. Look at that volume continuing to decline, and that's going to continue to happen over the course of the next 2 weeks. That's why I feel this is a low probability trading environment. Keep it light. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be avoiding temptation completely by taking some time off. So I'm not going to be producing a video tomorrow or Friday. I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to charge my battery. I'm going to get ready for a busy fall session. I hope that you enjoyed the content. Please make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. Also watch for a video that I'm going to be posting tomorrow, Thursday. It was actually recorded last night, Tuesday. I've got 2 new bullish put spreads in it that I showed to members. You'll be able to see those on Thursday morning, and I think both of those trades are still in range. So Be cautious, trade prudently, set passive targets. We'll see you Monday morning. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.